100 discs, one winner. The biggest giveaway in disc golf history.
Hello everyone and welcome back to MDG Media. This is the finale of the 2025 Krokhol Open Final Back 9 MPO lead card coverage. The sun is almost rising here. Elias and I committed to closing out this fantastic tournament. I'm Connor Wood and with me, disc golf player Elias Luukkonen.
I am a disc golf player, you are a disc golf player, and if you are watching this video, you are also a disc golf player. And if you're not, welcome. It's a great sport that we play here on the best course in the world. This tournament is really special not only because we have all of the best players, but also the best course. The tournament is insanely tight right now. Lauri, Lehtinen leading by 1 stroke, and so many players within a couple of strokes behind him. It's really anybody's game on this back 9, which is scoreable yet dangerous.
And we love to see the clash between regions. The Americans have put an incredible pace here on the field, but in this final round, our European athletes really coming on strong. We continue here at hole 10, a 126-meter par 3 offering a variety of lines, both backhand and forehand. You can go left as the drone flies on a turnover backhand with a low-speed disc or a forehand flex. Alternatively, on this low-wind day, the backhand hyzer over the right tree line comes in very well, assuming you have the power and can manage the width correctly. Often plays very safely. We know that Ricky historically has been dialed on the straight, soft turnover. We see that on display here.
Wow, beautiful line. I love the fact that he went with a disc that doesn't really glide as much, so he was able to throw it very hard. As Jacob, same line but going with the opposite spin. Looks a little bit early on the fade. Yeah, that's, it's not the worst mistake on the hole. It's gonna be far down there for a long look at par, but really annoying in these calm conditions to go OB on such a simple hole. I mean, if you have the hyzer either side, it's really not that difficult.
Lauri flashing chains and skips OB. In previous days, we've seen those dig and tombstone, but he was so close to the pin, he found the wood chips, which prevent the tombstone and offer him a small skip. And in a critical moment where he has just taken the lead coming into this back 9, Ben Callaway sticks the green in bounds by just a hair and looks to get a stroke back on Lauri, evening out the scoreboard at the top of the field.
I think Ben even stopping on top of the string, marking the OB line, and there you go. Commanding start to the back 9. Getting his round going. The front 9 was a bit of a struggle. Just even par, really not what he was looking for, especially in these calm conditions. Lauri here, putt to stay tied for the lead.
Very good composure there. Sitting at 4 under for his round. Closed the gap initially, but it is neck and neck. We see a mixed bag here for our lead card. Birdies for Ricky and Ben, par for Lauri, and the bogey for Jacob. Pays the price with that overstable disc choice off the tee, looking to shape the flex forehand.
Talking about price, the price of one bogey with the current standings on the leaderboard can be hundreds of dollars, sometimes even thousands of dollars in the final payouts of the tournament, as we're moving on to hole number 11. One of the more famous holes on the course, 149 meters, playing a little bit downhill, a dead straight tunnel shot. You do have some room both on the left mostly on the left side to shape a bit of a turnover shot if you want to utilize some understability to hold the straight line, or if you want to play it really safe, you can go over the right side trees, just crash into around 20 meters, take a long look. This is what Ricky is trying to do. Let's see the reaction of the trees.
A huge hyzer, and he gets through! An unforeseen outcome for that hyzer play. So rare that someone is able to find the green that purely, and a great display of his power as well as accuracy. We go to Ben, looking to shape a similar line. This one has more width, more turn, and this is bad news for him.
The camera direction is probably our best guess of where the disc is going to be. It looks like if it flew clean, it should be about 20 to 25 meters right of the basket. Really not an ideal spot. And Lauri, being a talented straight shot thrower, this time not quite perfect, but I respect the effort of going for the straight shot, trying to park the hole.
Not only does it give you the potential to park it, but it also makes the distance required much less to go straight at it. Jacob, not particularly a power player, but great control. No surprise to once again see him in the fairway cleanly. After that unfortunate bogey on the previous one, he gets back to his form. Lauri here, a tight inside forehand, catches the edge to finish the roll-up into the green. Jacob, a long birdie look. And even in this moment where he is sitting tied fourth, determines that putt unworthy of a bid, takes a stress-free par.
Nope, says Ben Callaway, going for the grenade. Too low out of the hand. And now this putt to keep the lead as Lauri is pretty much parked. That's going to be a big bogey. And all of a sudden, even Ricky kind of trying to come back towards being in contention for the tournament. 16 under is going to be 4 strokes back of the lead, which 4 strokes is really, it's quite manageable on these last 7 holes coming up.
And once again, we see a swing of strokes for our leaders. This lead card had an incredible gallery, over 1,200 tickets sold on the day, Elias. The enthusiasm of the local Norwegians on full display. And here, hole 12 on full display, a 267-meter par 4. You have this initial tee shot playing downhill, OB lining the right side, natural rough on the left. But given that downhill shot, you can really air it out, a very generous landing zone. The second shot will then play over this OB pond and try to land yourself somewhere up into this green. Shapes very naturally for either a backhand flex or forehand flex, depending if you're right or left side on the fairway off the tee shot. Either way, it's an attackable par 4 if you have the distance, and a very aesthetic hole, Elias.
Absolutely. Many players even ranking this up there in their favorite hole on the course, which I would generally agree with. It's definitely one of the better ones and more satisfying ones to throw this huge downhill slight hyzer. I mean, you need a lot of control here. It's not like you're getting a full flight out of the disc with that pure hyzer. As we're seeing, yeah, Mauri and Jakub both on the chase card, still trying to chase our leaders down. Only 1 stroke back here for Jakub.
Look at this committed line from Jakub. Huge long turn. The late stability gets him that forwards pushing flight from way back there. That was very well crafted line. Mauri from a similar spot, a little bit closer, has this one pushing the right side tree line. And both of those shots certainly not easy. They're brought now to the putts. Can they capitalize on the opportunity they created with 2 great shots? Jakov certainly can. 7 under so far for the round. Through 12, scorching hot. Lauri.
These two guys right now are just prime examples of how to utilize the wrist on the putt. Very impressive arm action from both. As we go back to the lead card, Ricky, couple of birdies to start off the back. And this shot is looking great. Right down the middle, good distance. No more than maybe 115, 120 to go from there.
Lauri with a touch more stability than Ricky's, doesn't quite get the glide. That will leave him further out, although he's a very capable backhand distance thrower. Jacob has more height on this, uses the width to ensure he doesn't move too far left. And that will certainly play. Might not be ideal for what many consider the second shot to be as a backhand flex, but he will be able to manufacture something, I believe. Ben as well, using that full width and a little more glide out of him. Great distance.
And he's got to love that angle to the green. Generally on this hole, most players prefer to be further to the right, as this bush in front of the, just in front of the line on the second shot is gonna force you to go either over it or to the right. And Lauri there, maybe not quite deciding, just over on the left side and not quite getting the turn on the disc. He's might actually even gonna have to do some difficult scrambling, maybe a forehand anhyzer from there to get up and down for par.
Jacob from a compromised position stabs it out into the gap. Really fortunate that he's able to beat that tree line, which we saw Lauri fall behind. Will open up a putting stroke, a clean look. Makes a world of difference here. Ricky clips a bush on the way, but somehow still has perfect speed control. Would suggest that perhaps out of the hand a clean shot would be imperfect in its speed control, but a fantastic result regardless, putting him right in that Ricky range.
I'm pretty sure we saw Ricky make the same exact putt in round number 2. And Ben there short. It's gonna be interesting to see how specifically Ben and Lauri here, as being the two leaders of the card, how their strategy is gonna change on this back nine, as you have a lot of holes where you can either play a bit safer or more aggressive. And this one aggressive from Ben.
Ben Callaway fights his way back to 1 under for the round. A roller coaster back nine so far. He's up and he's down. He's all around. Most importantly, he's in the chains for birdie. Ricky now to match that.
That is surprising. That is so surprising to see the Ricky not only missed the putt, but missed the line. I feel like most of his misses from that circle's edge area are either slightly too high or slightly too low. Really good at keeping that disc perfectly on the pole.
And just like that, Ben and Lauri back to tied first. Ben lost the momentum in the front nine, has regained it now in the back.
We are outside.
We are together.
Oh my!
We are healthy.
We are inclusive.
Smile.
Smile. You are playing
This goal.
PDGA Europe.
Smile.
We are watching disc golf on hole number 13, 96 meters. Playing just slightly uphill. Want to throw something straight. You either have that flex forehand shot that hits the hillside, hopefully settles and doesn't roll, or you can throw a perfectly flat backhand shot just straight at the pin, I'd say the latter is the more difficult, more technical out of the two shots, but also takes away from the roll-away luck factor of this hole that you can bring in with the forehand. Water on the left being OB, and some tricky putts to be had here, as we see Mauri Vilman putting for what seems to be a birdie.
Unsurprising. He has such an incredible forehand that I think many understate and underestimate. We go now to Ben, back on the lead card. Gets the backhand out there. Heiser release to the left of the basket, trusts the understability of the disc, and has a pure flight, leaving him at the edge of the slope looking up. Looks to be within the circle. Ricky, proficient on the backhand, on the forehand rather, and very capable with overstable plastic. What a skip.
Lauri. I hyped up his forehand before. Let's see if it holds up under pressure. And not quite. I mean, maybe he tried to play it a little bit safe, but you really want to be closer on this hole. He's looking directly at OB from there. That outside the circle putt for most players in the field, almost a direct layup with no other thought.
Jacob did well there. Great use of the stability. That flex prevents the skip from flaring too much compared to the full pure Heiser. Lauri with a death putt to maintain his share of the lead. Does not find it, but does find himself inbounds. That makes a huge difference. We go now to Ben to capitalize on that opportunity Lauri presents. His putting stroke has just been so smooth all week, Elias.
Yeah, really, really surprising to have such a smooth putting stroke. I mean, I don't know how can he reach back during the putt with such big balls. Just putting it dead center on this scary green. I don't know about all of you, but I feel like when you're under pressure, putting is the first thing that gets affected. You know, your stroke is not quite feeling the same as usual.
Hole 14, par 3, 106 meters over the water. Players will throw it as the drone flies, most often throwing a similar disc and shape as the previous hole, maybe even the exact same one. They want to ideally come left of these bushes, getting over that OB line and landing here on the green. It slopes more off to the right side, but not nearly as dangerous of a green as many of the other holes here at the Krokhol Disc Golf Park. Ben once again leaning on that backhand. Shapes it from left to right, soft landing, and I love the use of the low speed disc there, ensuring there's little to no ground play once it connects.
Ricky also mentioned this in an earlier round, but really surprising to see Ricky Kong with a backhand. Not surprising to see him absolutely lace it, though. He's got so much touch nowadays with both sides. It's really impressive.
Jacob was wide on the release, but comes in time. Doesn't quite skip to the right as he may have hoped. More of a forwards pushing end to the shot. Should be within range. Lauri, a soft kiss from those Norwegian pines. We have his putt up first now. Trying to get back to 21 under with Ben. Hearts it from circle 2. 5 under for the round. These two fellas at the top trading strokes back and forth each hole.
It's Jacob with a big putt towards the drop-off behind the basket. Guarding his second birdie in a row, and Ben just a 5-meter putt away from making a turkey. After struggling for most of the front 9, looks like he's gaining his confidence back.
And the man simply hates pars here on the back 9. Refuses to take one yet. maintains his solo lead, 22 under.
That would be the ideal case for him after this hole number 15. A 300-meter par 5, so not the longest one. You really don't need to throw very far off the tee on the second shot, even on the third shot. 3 100-meter long shots will do just fine. I'd say off the tee is the most crucial shot, the one that you really need to set yourself up for the birdie. Second shot, kind of a setup, you know, it doesn't really matter where you throw, just hit the fairway, get yourself within that 110-meter range from the basket. And then the third, this is where the money is made. Put your approach close and you're going to be rewarded with an easy birdie. But leave it further out, you're going to have a really difficult putt. Leave it further left, and you might even end up OB putting for par from outside the circle.
Perfect.
Check in with Lauri of the chase card. Currently at 19 under now on hole 15. 3 strokes off Ben, 2 off Lauri. Very conservative on both the first and second shots. See here if the juice is worth the squeeze.
Looks to be working out for him. Talking about juice, that forehand had some big juice on it. Lauri throwing very far this season, both sides, but honestly, I feel like he has to have one of the furthest flat to hyzer forehands in Europe right now. As carding another birdie, putting so much pressure on this lead card. You know, they have to be aware of what the rest of the field is doing. It's not like every player constantly checks their phone for scores, as this might be a big mistake from Ben. Huge mistake. Really, the drive is not that difficult. You just have to throw something stable. But that's what the nerves will do to you. The regular, even easy shots are not that easy after all.
Ricky, similar shot to Ben's in the sense that they're throwing that straight, low-speed backhand, but a much more favorable result and execution there for him. Keeps it well in bounds. Safe the whole way. I would expect a similar shot from Jacob here, although he has a higher speed disc in his hand, trying to bite off a touch more distance. We see that fade as it is a higher speed disc, but he is certainly in play. Was able to bite off a bit more without choking now on the lead card.
Lauri something more overstable. Love the play there. Keep it low. No chance of going all the way to the left. And Ben now going to the optional drop zone. You might play from here or you might play from where your disc was last in bounds. And really out of position for par. This is a huge opportunity for the rest of the card. They know that Ben is most likely taking a bogey. And Ricky in birdie position. This could be a big swing. This could be detrimental for Ben's tournament.
However, it could be suspenseful for the competition, favorable for the field. We see these pure hyzers along the right side of that central obstacle. I like to see a conservative approach on the second shot, ensuring inbounds above all. That is paramount. That third and final shot, getting yourself into the green, can be done from slightly further distance. This really not ideal for Ben now. And you see, as a result, how gentle he has to play that. A single obstacle doing so much work against our leader.
Ricky thinking his shot is a little bit too hot for no apparent reason. That is just perfect. I don't know what he was worried about.
I think just a case of am-I's there. Jacob, also fantastic on the speed control, slides his way up. I like his use of stability. Without going off the left side hill, was able to play the pure backhand hyzer. Lauri,
Wow, scary putt left. 9 meters, but you really couldn't have a much tougher 9-meter putt on this hole as he's looking directly down the slope. Ben here to put in the approach for an easy bogey. That's going to be the case. His score is going to be 21 under after this. So Lauri, a huge, huge opportunity to take the solo lead.
just like that. On hole 15, time is running out for the field. Lauri secures his second birdie consecutively, as well as of the back nine. Ricky puts himself down to 4 under for the round, now at 19. And at this point on the course, with the chase card on hole 16, the lead card on hole 15, we are all aware of the scores.
Hey guys, quick break. In addition to the first MPO feature card, we are also producing the second MPO feature card this week and next week in Krokhol. The full rounds will be available through our YouTube Premium subscription. If you want to support us and also enjoy some more content, go check it out.
We see here the beautiful hole 16, par 3, one of the touchiest 115-meter shots that you'll see from these players. We have OB lining the left, the water OB lining right, as well as long, at some points no more than 4 or 5 meters from the pin. Players are ideally going to throw a nose-down shot that hits the floor before the basket, slides on up. The biggest danger here is to find OB, as going to the drop zone is most often a 2-stroke swing at a minimum compared to being inbounds with a birdie look. You see here, Mauri Vilman. He's done well. Very safe. It's rare that we see the forehand, but he's able to craft that slightly understable hyzer flip game so well. Jakub, vying for the lead, throws it clearly out of bounds, right out of the hand. Never had a chance.
Now this is a big shot. He needs to get it close. You don't really want to have a long putt on this hole, and that is going to be good enough. Just 4.5 meters. Mauri, huge putt. The flag is dead. He has hit it high in the chains. What a great birdie. I'd say this hole is the most nerve-wracking hole that we have left, as it's so simple. Just throw a straight shot down the middle. Don't turn it to the right. Don't fade it to the left. But it's so much value in being inbounds and inside the circle, as OB is already a 4. Sometimes, you know, the 4 is not even guaranteed. If you go OB, you can easily take a 5. I've even seen a 6 on this hole.
Ricky Wysocki, textbook execution there. Jacob, momentum now. Siding with him, has 3 birdies in a row, sitting at 20 under, just shy of the lead position. This, however, is bleeding well to the left, and just like that, will proceed to the drop zone. Bogey at best. Lauri now, solo lead. This is a make or break situation for him.
This is turned to the right, needs to finish hard left, and he has found the water. Lauri Lehtinen OB on 16. So he's going to be at best 21 under par after this hole, and Ben, another huge opportunity to take back the lead. Stay in bounds, and he has absolutely parked the hole. That shot, but 1 meter more to the right, he would have gone to the drop zone, throwing 3, but now he's going to be parked for a birdie.
That was absolutely a sweaty line from Ben. And with Lauri leaving himself 7 or 8 meters for the bogey, we're looking at a potential 2-stroke swing. Ricky to get to 20 under. Ricky at 20 under.
Lauri, huge putt here. That's not gonna be good. Lauri is gonna take a double bogey. So he's gonna fall back to 20 under. And Ben, all of a sudden in an incredibly favorable situation, 22 under. He's gonna have the solo lead on the card, at least on our card. Most likely against the rest of the field. As you can see, that single number 1 next to his score, he's gonna be leading outright as we're moving on to hole number 17. Once again, a crucial moment down the stretch. 230 meters. The drive is gonna be pretty simple. Throw something flat. Even slight hyzer towards the right side is gonna be okay. The disc will glide with the downhill grade far enough. Even if you throw something quite overstable, just hit the fairway. Put yourself inside of 100 meters for the approach. And then on the approach, even more pivotal. You need to put it inside the island to proceed from there. If you don't, you're going to a drop zone, which is pretty much an instant 2-stroke swing between being on the island and on the drop zone.
Lauri from the chase card at this point, sitting at 21 under, coming into hole 17. A well-placed tee shot, very capable on the forehand approach, as we've seen. That should leave him a shot that he should be comfortable with, at least in theory. The nerves and stress of the situation can get to anyone, regardless of how stoic he may look. I'm sure there's emotions underneath, and emotions for Jakob, seeing that green flag displayed as well. He was right on the edge.
This is looking wide. It needs to come back in bounds. There you go. Huge shot from Lauri. He's gonna be long and not the easiest of putts with some OB far behind the basket, but being on the island is huge at this moment.
Nice looking shot by Jakob. Great height, great angle control, the speed, everything was correct. Unfortunate for him to roll back down to the edge, but I think he's at a minimum happy to stick the island. The rare miss on the green from Lauri. Jakob, a chance to meet him now at 21 under.
Huge birdie down the stretch. And a little side story, as you saw, flashing side profile of Gannon Burr. Gannon Burr was also very much in the mix, but putting in or tapping in for, I believe, a bogey on this hole, putting him a couple strokes back off the lead there. And you know Lauri is checking those scores before this one, checking if he still has a chance, and absolutely does.
Ricky, an aggressive line put on this drive. Long turnover, the late stability just forwards piercing the entire way. Ben now looking to match solo leader. 22 under. At 21, the field meets him there. This is bleeding out to the left. This is unsuccessfully in bounds, but at the last second, a miraculous reaction off the tree. A shot that would so infrequently be inbounds. He finds safety and the green flag of a spotter. You can see what that means to him. Unreal reaction.
That is an insane break, at least. I mean, it's clearly a one-stroke swing, and I don't think that happens more than a few times out of 100 with a shot like this. Jakob, middle of the fairway. And Lauri, he pretty much is trying to finish birdie at least, or ideally even birdie eagle on hole 17 and 18, as 18 very eagleable. So all of these players have to consider that the players ahead of them still have that one hole to play, which is usually going to be a birdie for the best players, but sometimes that potential eagle.
Jacob looking to stick the green. He lands in the island, skips out of the island, as his hopes to win this tournament potentially die there with that shot. We go now to Ben to maintain his lead, to take advantage of that incredible break. All he has to do here is stick the island, and this is high. This is hyzering, and this is nowhere near the island. Never crossed it.
And interesting point here as Lauri also trying to approach. This is wide to the right, inside to the right. Not gonna be good. The thing is, Ben could have very well laid that one up, as he was the solo leader at 22 under, and he knows that the rest of the field who are trying to catch him at 22 only have one hole left. So unless Jakub or Mauri would eagle the last hole, Ben could win the tournament going par on this hole and birdie on 18. So very interesting strategy to go for the island. So he's gonna pitch up for a bogey here, and now he's pretty much forced to go for the birdie on 18.
And Lauri missing the island here on 17 also feels his chances slipping away from him, now vying for the remaining positions, the cash on the line, the rating on the PDGA page. Jacob had an incredible performance this weekend, has a lot of things to be proud of, but unable to push himself into those podium positions coming into the last and final hole. One Ricky Wysocki, though, look at that back nine, Elias. We almost had counted him out at the beginning of this round, but that is always a mistake. Ricky is in the mix. He is here at 21 under, going into the last and final hole, along with Ben. Our reigning defending champion making a final stand on the final hole, 18, the last of the Krokhol Disc Golf Open 2025. This par 5 sits at 303 meters. This landing zone island here, the most common spot for players with a hyzer. They are then left with a shot either left or right of these trees into this intermediate landing zone prior to the green. Can most often be played as another hyzer. You then cross over the pond, over the bridge, into the island green on the far side here. It really can, Elias, be played with 3 pure hyzer shots, and as a result, it will come down to nerves, it will come down to consistency, and it's a hole which players are expecting to birdie if they can stay in the fairway.
Absolutely, one of the easiest holes on the course for the top-level throwers. Jakub needs to stick this inbounds, and it's looking really nice. Love that spike angle coming to the ground. He's not going to take a big skip to the OB left. That is a perfect position to be in after one. Setting up for another big hyzer and another more stress-free shot than the first. I'd say the first shot here is by far the most difficult. And Mauri also gonna be in play. And here really the choice is if they want to go for an eagle or not, which, knowing the situation, either play could be fine. Jakub really wide, but this is a hyzer play, just trying to put it safe. He's gonna be inbounds, potentially even within very long jump putt distance to the basket.
Mauri looking to match that shot now. This point in time effectively parallels Ben's bogey on 17. If they were looking at the scores, they would know that 21 is, at this point, the score they need to end on. Assuming Ben does not push on 18 to 22. Mauri almost throws that one in. The soft eagle bid, I'd love to see it. Really little to no risk given his ability to put touch on that shot.
Jakub jump putting, trying to put it in for eagle. And that's gonna be an easy birdie. Both Jakub and Lauri are going to be tied at 22 under and putting all of the pressure on lead card. They know that unless somebody makes the eagle from the lead card, that somebody being either Ricky Wysocki or Ben Callaway, they're gonna be at least in a playoff together.
And Ricky, a shocking mistake after such an incredible back nine, throws out of bounds right on a hole that is one of the easiest and one of the largest fairways. Ben, however, rises to the occasion, still has yet to take a par here on the back nine, speaks volumes about his mindset. He is ride or die, playing for every stroke here available on the course. Lauri fallen back to 19, looking to end strong.
Very solid drive there. Lauri, I'd say, doesn't really have a lot of incentive to go for the basket from there, as he's not playing for the win. He would have to throw that in from there to tie Jakub and Lauri in the clubhouse at 22 under. And Jacob, similar thing, just trying to finish out with a nice birdie. And now Ricky. So he needs to take a 4 on this hole. And how do you take a 4 from that position? I don't know. Pretty much throwing it in from far out is the only option. And Ricky inbounds there, but he will have to throw the disc in from there, from 140 meters out. Seems like a tall task.
We saw the crowd cheer for his shot, but pure disdain for it on his own face. He understands the opportunity that he threw away with that early out of bounds on the final hole. He made such an effort to catch the leaders, and so frustrating for him to then give that fairly unforced error. Jacob continues to chip away safe progress. This is traditionally how we see hole 18 played. Hyzer to the first landing zone, hyzer to the second landing zone, and a straight or hyzer shot into the green ultimately for the birdie putt. Ben has this high, he has it wide. Can he find inbounds? Absolutely. The flag will match the shirt, that is green for Ben Callaway.
Yeah, Ben playing it in a bit of a different way. He's playing it shorter and straighter than a lot of the hyzers. And Ricky here, this shot needs to go in order for him to have a chance. And a good line it was, just a little bit short. Ricky Wysocki is officially out of the tournament for the win. Now down to 2 players on the lead card. Excuse me, just 1 player on the lead card. Ben Callaway still has a chance to push for that playoff spot. Or if he throws it in from where his disc is, he's gonna have the solo victory right then and there. Huge shot here.
A chance for the outright win. Was your leader in round 1, leader of round 2. Coming into this third and final round, that solo lead position will be left with just a short putt. A great weekend and a great showing by Jacob Blair, letting the world know he's here to play with the very best. Lauri, I think similarly for him, proving that he has all of the skills, just let it slip by in these critical last moments. As both Ricky and Ben putt in a double bogey for Rick, a birdie for Ben, 22 under.
Playoff hole will be this hole, so you can just stay where you are. If you want to have a closer look, you can go that gate and stand there. As soon as we have checked the scores, we'll drive up to hole 18 and start finding out who will be the champion of the Krokhol Open 2025.
The excitement now palpable in the air. A three-way playoff. They will be playing hole 18 on loop.
Lack of the draw there on the throwing order. And you saw the players got a nice little car ride with the golf carts. Don't have to tire themselves out just before this drive on the final hole. Lauri going first. Important shot here, just to put it in play, put some huge pressure on the second and the third player.
And that tree drops him out of bounds. Just like Ricky moments ago, finds out of bounds right off the tee here on 18. Likely an unforgivable mistake.
The door swinging wide open for both Jakub and Ben. Jakub gonna be inbounds. Not the longest shot, but safe. Now all of the pressure on Ben Callaway. He pretty much knows that he can take out Lauri with a birdie, as Lauri is gonna be, will be very early. Likely a difficult birdie chance, as we saw from Ricky earlier. This is looking perfect. Beautiful shot. Great composure.
Little to no nerves on display for Ben. Jakub's shot a little bit more suspicious, but is certainly in bounds. Lauri having to do something miraculous now if he would like to stay in contention, assuming no mistakes from his card mates in this playoff 18.
That's pretty much the best case scenario. He's gonna have a flat run up, 100 meters to the basket, slightly downhill, knowing that he most likely will have to throw it in from there. Assuming that at least one of the other two players will have a good second shot and a good third shot, ensuring the birdie. This is Jakub's second, needs to finish left to be safe, and this is looking great. Perfectly down the fairway, no more than 65 meters from there.
Knowledge is power here. The opportunity to throw it last lets you know what is required of you. Are your opponents inbounds? Are they in a birdieable position? Ben knows that Jakub has a great chance from there. Needs to do something similar, is not particularly incentivized to push too much. Lauri, however, inversely, just like Ricky previously, is effectively forced to try and throw this in if he wants to maintain his spot in the playoff. A chance for the lead in his hands. The disc is in flight.
And what a great effort that was. Huge respect for giving it the perfect height, almost the perfect line. Now, only thing Lauri can do is hope that these guys will mess up. That's not looking too likely, as Jakub is in the air and in the bullseye. Lauri Wilman officially will be out of the playoff. Jakub will be either hoisting the trophy, continuing the playoff, or losing if Ben can put this in from 60 meters. But he's parked.
And just like that, our playoff goes from 3 players down to 2. Lauri, just a formality now for the par. Can end with his head held high. Made it to the 19th hole of the final round.
Absolute elite level player. Lauri Wilman, as you mentioned, already has 1 Elite Series win this season. Wouldn't be surprised to see him catch one more, potentially at the THRU Open or another tournament if he goes over to America. As we are back at hole 18's tee pad, playing the same hole over and over until we find a difference. As Jakub going high, going wide. This is fading to the fairway. Perfect shot.
I'd love to see the correction on the distance from the previous tee shot. That one perfectly centered in the landing zone. It'll be very curious to see if either of them consider at any point attempting the eagle. They've seen the game plan and execution. They know they are both very capable of birdieing this mostly easy hole. Will it become a battle of endurance? Will it become a battle of risk and fortune? Jakub over the water now. Very overstable. Heiser here. This is once again the play for the birdie. The game plan is clear, particularly when throwing first, remain in bounds, get progress, and put yourself in a position to play for 4. Ben needs to match now.
Also looking to play it safe. If you want to miss left and not right. And he's going to be in bounds slightly further out than the last time. But very similar shot. And about the eagle play on this hole, a lot of players were speculating about the same thing. Should one of these players go for the eagle? But the general consensus was that no, you should not, as it's so risky to go for the green on the second. Ben here, huge shot for the approach, and he's going to be parked again. Tap-in birdie for the 3rd time in a row, including the one time they played this in the round.
I would say, Elias, if the eagle were to come into play, it would not be through the aggressive second, but rather a throw-in on the 3rd. We've seen them before. We saw even 1 or 2 on the final day. Ben now, this short putt to proceed. Nothing but butter.
Perfect pace, perfect release. Jakub just a tap in to go on the same tee pad for the 4th time in a row. 3rd hole of this playoff. They are taking the ride. I hope we don't run out of gasoline on these golf carts because they are doing some hard work. Ben here, once again, same shot. Looks nice out of the hand. Just needs to stick to fairway. That's gonna be the case. Once again, in an identical spot. He has really got this hole down now. Let's see if Jakub can follow.
I think most golf carts nowadays are electric, Elias, particularly in Norway. Jakub looking to match Ben's shot. We're not running out of gas here. We are potentially running out of daylight. The camera's certainly running out of battery. This day extending well beyond the anticipated end of the tournament. Stamina becoming a factor for both of these players. And we touched on the dynamic before, Elias. The player throwing first has no incentive to play for the eagle. And if they're in bounds, which he is, the second player has no incentive to push for the eagle. If the first player to throw is out of bounds, there's also no real incentive to play for the eagle, because then you know a birdie would be sufficient. There's so many different thought processes on managing this playoff. All of them lead to the following: birdie the hole as many times as you can.
Yep. It's all about, it's almost like playing chess between the two players. It's all about just playing your game and waiting for a mistake on the other player's part. As this one from Jakub, I would consider that a slight mistake. Going a bit long. He's gonna have a tough putt, 9 meters. As Ben putting it almost to the identical spot for the 4th time in a row. Insane consistency. As this time, Jakub is gonna be tested.
With the weight of Europe on his shoulders, the expectations of the crowd, he finds the chains on that putt, puts it now back to Ben. There is no falter in that putt. The stroke is pure. They return back to the carts and back to the tee of 18.
The electric golf carts making some more work. Talking about electric, the feeling in the crowd was electric, but getting slightly less electric as these players are playing the same shots over and over again. Insane consistency, and some people were speculating that maybe this hole is not the most ideal hole for a playoff, as these players are so good, they can just birdie it over and over again. As Ben going wide, once again similar shot, looking really nice. And there you go.
And it's a very different feeling to win a playoff through a successful throw, a successful putt, compared to hoping that your opponent makes a mistake. It's a different mindset that you need to be in to birdie a hole compared to not par or bogey a hole. And hole 18 not offering too much differentiation in terms of score. That's why many opened this discussion here as the evening rolled on. The inbounds hyzers rolled on. The putts in the basket rolled on.
And the camera operators on the fairway rolled on. We saw some extreme highlights from our MDG camera operator running down the fairway once again. And Ben throwing the same shot. This time gonna be just slightly long.
Jakob, you see, even with these short shots, still goes for an abbreviated run-up. Not quite the standstill. That one bleeds a little bit out to the right. We'll leave him with another tester up first.
To keep the playoff going, and he has done it. Solid stroke. And we're gonna have another playoff hole. At this point, it's almost getting ridiculous. These players don't look like they can even take a par on this hole. Rumor says that some of the tournament organizers were even getting messages from the big CEO, Jeff Spring, CEO of Disc Golf Pro Tour, of course, telling that if this goes on for much longer, they will have to change the playoff hole.
Jeff Spring trying to pull the plug. Not happening here. We see Ben pull the shot right out there. Open skies, open fairway.
Jakub throwing once again. Same exact shot. This is, even though the shot off the tee it's a simple shot, these players have some pretty serious consistency. Landing almost in the same exact spot every time. Now Jakub, same disc, trying to go very overstable over the water. Needs to fade left. And once again looking really nice. This time even closer than the previous times. Just about 40 meters left from there.
We go to Ben. See if Callaway can find a way to hoist the trophy of the 2025 Krokhol Open. Has this one also quite high. Another very familiar landing zone for him. So comfortable and so confident on that backhand putter shot. We've seen it on display. Has put himself close every time without exception. This one a little bit longer than the others. Certainly within range for a putt that is high probability.
Yeah, nervy putt. It's not really what you want to have here, as He's used to being pretty much parked. Jakub there, 5 meters left. Crucial putt for Ben here to keep the playoff going, and he has done it dead center. And the thing is, he hasn't been putting for a very long time at this point. He's been parked pretty much every time.
Jakub to keep the ball rolling. He has been putting, Elias, compared to Ben, who was just tapping them in for the last 45 minutes, maybe even a full hour. Jakub has been having to make stressful putt after stressful putt. And just like that, it is decided. A stroke of fate, a twist of chains, a hug of two potential champions. But at the end of the day, a new dawn for your 2025 Krokhol Open MPO champion, Benjamin Callaway.
Benjamin Callaway, you are the 2025 Krokhol Open champion. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. A weight feels lifted, and the fact that my first win is here in Europe, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, it was a dramatic and thrilling 5-hole sudden death playoff here on the 18th, this beautiful 18-hole. Tell us about it.
My game during the round wasn't all that great. I mean, I made some pretty clutch moments and putts, but down the stretch, I needed to birdie 18, and I'm pretty sure that means I birdied 18 6 times in a row just to win this tournament. So birdieing 18 felt really good, felt very confident in that. So when they told me that the playoff was going to be hole 18 on repeat, I was just thinking, all right, I just need to focus here and throw my exact 3 shots that I had been all week.
So you had a 3-stroke lead over the people on your card. What was the mindset going in there, and then how did it feel when you found out you had a 3-hole playoff with people from the chase card?
I knew that people were going to be coming today. I knew they were going to be shooting hot. So my game plan was just simply to do exactly what I did yesterday, but it went awry on a lot of shots. Discs were flipping over. I had one spit out on hole 5, I believe, or 6, and then I also had a missed putt for bogey. So things were starting to unravel pretty quick, and I checked scores on hole 16 and noticed that Jakub and Mauri Vilman were also shooting really hot. So I just told my caddy, I was like, what do I need to do? And he said, you need to birdie 18. I said, okay, let's do it.
Incredibly emotional moment here on the green. What did it feel like to hoist that trophy up with the live cameras, with your family at home watching, and with all of your friends? And
it's the reason why I'm out here. I went on tour with the mindset of knowing that I could win a tournament, maybe multiple tournaments. So for me to accomplish that makes everything what I'm doing out here, sacrificing being away from family, worth it.
What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, we're probably gonna watch a sunrise in the morning because we're gonna be driving 6 straight hours just to get to our ferry. We got a major here coming next week. So I'm gonna be preparing for that. Have not played it yet, so gonna be really buckling down to see what the course is going to be offering for me. After that, I'm just going to be doing the same thing, fishing and hanging out with the Finns.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Anything you'd like to say to the MDG viewers out there or people back home?
I would just like to say thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Thank you for MDG for providing this coverage. I'm a subscriber. If you aren't, you should. It's pretty sad if you aren't. I also just want to say thank you to my family at home. You know, you guys are awesome. You're my support, and I love you so much.
Beautiful. Congratulations again. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you very much.
The words of a man who put everything on the line and walked away a champion.
Incredible moment, and we are so lucky to be providing this coverage to you, to see this moment live for the second time. Incredible tournament, guys. Please show all of your love to Benjamin Callaway. Show all of your love to every person who made this tournament what it was. What a special place to be. And I'm sure Ben is somewhere in his car driving to the ferry right now as the sun is rising. Thank you guys for watching all the way until the end. Thank you, Connor, for doing this commentary. And
Always a pleasure.
thank you to MDG for providing the coverage. See you in the next tournament at the European Disc Golf Festival.